Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to do is make bread on this video. And any of you that have watched my channel before, you know that I generally make my bread dough or breads and rolls in a bread maker. And this particular recipe you will need, if you're using your machine, just as I do, you need it to have at least that it can hold up to 2 pounds. So you need a larger bread maker, that kind of thing. Now you can do this bread by hand, but I'm sorry, I do not do it by hand, so I won't be giving directions for that, but I will be giving you the complete recipe below the video, okay? And I want to tell you what kind of prompted me to start making this bread. Not only because it tastes delicious, but I recently did a wedding cake for a friend, and it was white batter, and I needed only egg whites. Okay, so I had a lot of egg yolks left over. So what I did was I put them in a nice closed container when I used them, and I put them in the freezer. And now it's been, I think it's less than 2 months. I am using them up because I don't want to throw them out, because as we know, food is so expensive in the stores and that kind of thing. So this is a great recipe if you have any egg yolks left over. And again, I freeze mine, especially, and if you don't use it for breads or baking, you can always use it for glazes. An egg yolk glaze, I add a little bit of water with it, and then you also use it for your breads and your rolls. So you don't want to waste anything, I guess is what I'm trying to say, or I try not to, because everything is so expensive in the store. So I do suggest, again, don't throw out your egg yolks, freeze them, and then use them at another time, okay? Now, what I want to do is I'm going to just tell you real quick the recipe, and then, like I said, it will be below the video. You're going to need 2.5 cups of water, and you want to have that at least 95 to 110 degrees. So I usually heat my water in a Pyrex safe, microwave safe container, and I heat my water in my microwave. But you can do it in a pot on the stove too, but like I said, I think it's so much quicker to heat the water in the microwave. Now I do use 1.5 tablespoons of active dry yeast, and you would use 10 egg yolks, okay? You'll need 5 tablespoons of any type of oil that you prefer, because I don't want to go into the debate about what oil is bad, what is good. You decide what type of oil that you want to use, and that's 5 tablespoons. And then there's 6 tablespoons that I use of granulated sugar. And then put in a tablespoon of vanilla. And you're going to need quite a bit of flour here. You're going to need 7.5 cups of flour. Now, the flour I'm using, a lot of people, don't care for it because it's high gluten flour. And people that are allergic to gluten, sure, this would not be a recipe for you, or that if you don't like high gluten. So if you don't like high gluten, go ahead and use bread flour. The only difference with it is that the baked goods will be smaller. They won't rise as high. So you'll see an example of the high rise in just a few minutes of the high gluten. But I prefer, because the high gluten, you don't, for whatever reasons, try the bread flour with the recipe. It's a good one, but again, it won't rise as high, okay? Now you're going to need also 2.5 teaspoons of salt, okay? And you're going to need, if you want to, put an egg wash on it. If you have some leftover egg yolks, like I showed you just a moment ago, I add a little bit of water and I use an egg wash on it. Or if you have any whites of the eggs, and I freeze those too when I make other desserts, and I just have the whites of the eggs left over. I freeze those. So whatever you use to give yourself the egg wash over your breads for them to be nice and shiny. Now you can also put poppy seeds on top of this. You could put sesame seeds. It really is endless what you might want to do, that kind of thing, okay? So, and again, follow the directions on your machine. I know with mine, yet I have 6 of them because I do a lot of baking. Mine is the water always goes first, and then the other ingredients follow. But follow the directions because all these makers are very different in the procedure. So follow yours and you should be fine. Now, I'm going to move it along really quick and explain this is an extremely large recipe. And what I like to do is I usually bake a round loaf, okay, of it, and then I like to make rolls out of it, and this is the bread that I get out of it. It really turns out so pretty, and it's such a great tasting bread. I love this bread right out of the oven when it's still warm, and this one is. This one was baked not too long ago, so it's quite warm in my hands. Now I'm going to show you, and you certainly don't need one of these baskets, that kind of thing, and I make rolls out of it. So I'm going to show you my rolls, and this is how they turn out. And again, you can see how beautiful they've come out and nice and tall they are. Now, these particular ones, again, this is made with high gluten flour. I got 13 out of these. Now, I did measure them and cut them on a scale, and they were 3 ounces. And I got 13 of these large rolls, which are great for sandwiches or for dinner rolls. You can always cut them in half and have 2 people if it's too large. But they're great for sandwiches. They really are, like mini subs, that kind of thing. And it's a great recipe if you do want to make subs. And if you're looking for some really nice recipes for sub rolls, submarine rolls, hoagie rolls, whatever you prefer to call them, I do have videos on my channel. But anyway, I get 13 of these beautiful large rolls, and then I get the bread. And then of course you can do whatever you want, make 2 breads or make 26 rolls. It's a very large recipe, but I like it because if it's not used right away, I just wrap it very carefully and put it in airtight containers, and I freeze it, and I try to use them up within about a month or month and a half. I don't like to freeze bread for too long because I think I don't think it looks good when it comes out, and it doesn't taste all that good. So anyway, let me take a knife here, and let's see. Let's get this one. This is a pretty one, and we'll cut it in half to show you the crumb in it. Oh my gosh, it's so light and so delicate. Let me just pull some of this apart. If you can see as I push on it. Oh, they're like little light pillows. They really are so delicious, because I put an egg wash, it's a semi-hard, it's not real hard. It has a bit of a crust to it, but it's a chew crust, if you know what I mean. It isn't where you bite down and it just breaks up and shatters. So it's not a real hard crust, but it is a firm crust. And again, these were 3 ounces. And look how beautiful and how nice and tall that they came up. You know, they really are great. Now, you do bake them at a lower temperature, 350 degrees, and they can take you anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes. The rolls, mine generally come up faster. Sometimes I get them up in even 17 to 20 minutes because, you know, our oven's set up so differently. So please watch them. You don't want to overbake them and dry them out either. But of course, you know, follow our directions that, you know, when you tap the bottom, you hear that hollowness and you know that it's done. Go ahead, and I usually put a solid shortening on my tray or whatever type of oil that I have. But you do need to grease your pans quite well because you don't want them to stick. Okay, I don't use the spray. I find that it doesn't work really well, I find, for this recipe. And I don't prefer it. So, you know, I want to tell you that. Now let's cut into the bread. Okay. And I'll just take it out of this container here. It's probably best if I just cut it in half and show you how beautiful this bread turns out. Oh gosh, this bread with butter and some jam or little preserves. It's just beautiful. It's not heavy. It's not dense. I don't know if you can see it. This is still a little warm, so it usually will pop back even faster than that. And look, I'm just going to kind of squeeze it to show you how beautiful this bread comes out. Oh my gosh. It is so delicious. And again, I can't stress enough how light and how delicate. It just sort of melts on your tongue. Oh, this is just great bread. And as I said, if you have leftover egg yolks like I did, freeze them, use them, and I think you'd love this bread if you give it a chance. Okay, so we're just going to call it, well, an egg bread for now. It's probably the easiest title to give it. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. I put my videos solely on that, so you won't find them anywhere else. If you try this recipe and you like it, well, let me know. Write to me. I will do my best to answer in a timely fashion. And I hope you check out all my other videos. I have, I think, close to 800 of them. And such a variety and of breads and pizza doughs and oh my gosh, several other things, cakes and cookies. And I hope that you watch my channel because I really need people to continue to watch my videos, and hopefully for longer periods of time because I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching Diane Lovetobake. Give this recipe a try. I think you're going to love this bread. I really do. Or rolls, whatever you choose, or how to make it. Okay, and now it's also too great if you want to do braiding on it and do a braided bread. Oh, it comes out just beautiful. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you again for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.